There once was a rebel who gave up everything he knew before to chase his dreams of living and working from anywhere. This is the Rebel Podcast, brought to you by Paul Saxby, creator of the Rebel Nomad Blog, rebelnomad.co.uk.
Hello and welcome to the Rebel Podcast with me, Paul Saxby. So let me set the story for you. It was kind of coming to the end of 2014 where I said to my wife, Laura, what are your dreams? What are your goals and aspirations? You know, if you could do anything, like anything in the world, what would you do? You know, if we had any amount of money or anything like that, what would you do? So she said, out everywhere, I just want to live in New York. You know, it'd be so good just to kind of live in New York, wake up, buy a bagel, I don't know, just, you know, live the New Yorker dream, jog in Central Park and you know, just live that life or whatever. So I was like thinking to myself, I was like, how can I make that happen? You know, because I'm given a pretty spontaneous person, but I like to think that we can kind of achieve whatever we want. You know, like if we don't achieve what we want, we just haven't worked hard enough. There's always a way of getting something. Okay, it might not be with, you know, yachts and Lamborghinis or something, but like you can still achieve the goal, you know, kind of thing. So at the time I was actually reading a book called The 4 Hour Week, which is a great book if you haven't already checked it out. The kind of concept behind it is you can kind of automate and outsource your work schedule and all this kind of stuff to essentially live, or have more time to live, kind of thing, you know. So I quite like the book, and there's some good concepts. Not all of it is, you know, I don't expect everyone to be working 4 hours a week, you know, but there's some great concepts behind it on how you can travel and all this kind of stuff. So I said to Laura, I was like, okay, like we need to make this happen then, you know, because I'm not really one of these people that just wants to wait and work really hard until I'm old and then go, cool, now I'm 85, now I'm ready to try and follow my goals. It's kind of too late, you know. I really want to be able to say, yeah, I've lived life, you know what I mean? I don't really want to be the person who's like, hey, I'm the richest person in the world and I'm on my deathbed. You know, like I'm not really into that kind of thing. So essentially, my mind is now ticking. It's now time for me to try and figure out how to make this happen. So there's a great new website called Airbnb. Well, it's new to me anyway. I think it's still relatively quite new. Where essentially you can rent out people's apartments for as long as you want, and it's just way loads cheaper than a hotel. So I'm starting to look at that. I'm starting to look at places in New York. You know, I mean, you can rent somewhere for as little as £20, 20 English pound, obviously, a night. And you know, I'm starting to think, okay, so a month in New York, we could do that for like £1,000 if you know, if we really try hard enough, and if we want somewhere, you know, pretty good, a good standard, you know, in Manhattan kind of thing. So I'm starting to think, okay, we could definitely make that happen. You know, £1,000 is way cheaper than renting in our local area and all this kind of stuff. Plus you'd be in New York, you know, so it'd be so awesome. You also obviously got the problem of the job. Like, how can you work from anywhere? I mean, I'm a guitar teacher by trade, I guess. You know, I'm a guitarist. You know, so I'm kind of thinking, how can I make that happen? You know, so I then started to look online, just start to think about how I can still make money from anywhere. I mean, it's quite a tricky thing because in theory, as a guitar teacher, people expect to come to you, you know, one-on-one and then learn and then obviously go away, you know. So it's like, how can you do that? So I'm starting to look at Skype and, you know, starting to see how that could happen. I mean, I've already done quite a lot of Skype lessons anyway, so that was quite good. You know, that I was like, okay, that's kind of that sorted. Laura does marketing and things like that, so really, you can work from anywhere. You know, with that kind of job, you know, you can, as long as you got Wi-Fi. So anyway, this whole thing starts to come together. Well, in my mind anyway. It might just be complete madness, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to make this happen. You know, I'm going to find a way. So before Christmas, I threw the spanner in the works by saying, hey Laura, guess what? She says, yeah, what, Paul? I'm like, okay, I've bought return tickets to New York. And basically, this is happening in March. Like, one way or the other, we're definitely going to New York for a month, you know? So she's like, cool, you know, let's do this, you know? So the next step, we then have to, obviously, at Christmas, try and make this happen, you know? So we sorted out our jobs first. That was good, you know. Everyone was surprisingly quite good with me as well. I was kind of expecting there'd be quite a lot of naysayers who'd be like, nah, I don't think I'm going to do this Skype lesson stuff. It's just, you know, too modern, or, you know, I don't like computers, or whatever kind of thing. Unanimously, 100%, every single person said, yes, this is great idea, you know. It's like, okay, that's cool, you know. So that's kind of March sorted, you know. And then the next step, I said to Laura, okay, this doesn't have to be 1 month. This doesn't have to be New York. Let's think bigger, you know. Where would you want to go? Anywhere, you know, anywhere in the world. So the next step is, we then start to think, yeah, I'd love to go to LA. I'd love to go to San Francisco. I'd love to go to Canada, to Banff, to Dubrovnik, to Rome, to Paris, to Amsterdam. But the caveat of this whole thing is, we don't just want to go places. I mean, we're pretty well traveled anyway. You know, that's what we've done ever since we got in a relationship. You know, way before we got married and everything. We just saved up our money. Cool, where are we going? Okay, let's go there. That's cool. You know, but this is the thing of living anywhere. So we want to live like locals. You know, we want to, I don't know, go to the Rialto market in Venice and buy some food to cook, you know, a nice Italian meal, you know, this kind of stuff. So in theory, it won't actually cost a lot living like a local. I mean, in comparison with us, we live in London, you know, so everything's super expensive, you know. So that was kind of okay. We're kind of looking at the cost of living to work from anywhere and to kind of buy stuff, and it's a lot cheaper than London, you know, by the time you convert it all and stuff. So suddenly this dream starts to become a reality, you know, kind of thing. Flights are quite cheap and everything like that. So this is our crazy journey anyway, and we hope you're going to enjoy it. Now, I actually love podcasts. I mean, I work pretty crazy hours anyway. Like, I can be working loads and loads of hours and have like loads of free time, like mainly during the days and things like this, because obviously guitar lessons are just random times kind of thing. And also do some web design as well, like all the sites you've hopefully seen, like Rebel Nomad. I've designed myself and everything like that. So yeah, it's quite a freelancer heaven job really. If I can work whenever I want, I can take as much time as I want. Obviously, as long as I've worked hard enough to make enough money to live on, then everything's okay. But yeah, so it's pretty crazy, you know. But the whole thing about this isn't like, oh yeah, look at us, you know, we're a young married couple, we're, you know, traveling everywhere, check out this selfie of us, you know, in wherever, you know. It's kind of just to inspire like other people who kind of just want to just break out of, you know, their 9-to-5 job and their daily routine, you know, just kind of achieve your goals, you know, kind of thing. Because it's quite funny. My best friend Andrew, he's in the band Arcane Roots. You have to check him out and stuff. But we always have this thing. We're like, okay, if we had 200 grand today, and we know tomorrow we're going to have 200 grand, what would you do? Like, you know, what would you do today? Yeah. So we're like, okay, like if I had 200 grand right now, I would like get on a plane and fly to Paris. You know, when I get to Paris, we could like, you know, check out whatever we wanted, you know, go to the Eiffel Tower, like go have dinner here, there and everywhere, you know, everything like that. And then after that, you know, they'd be like, okay, cool, that's wicked, you've been to Paris. So you've got 200 grand tomorrow though as well. So it's like, what would you do on the next day? Man, I'll just go to Amsterdam. You know, I'd like go on the canals, you know, just check everything out. And it's just like, in reality, you don't actually need that much money to like achieve that goal, you know, to go to Paris. You don't need 200 grand, you know, we could probably do it for like £100, you know. Well, to be honest, I have done it for £100, you know, I'm known to be pretty spontaneous, like, for example, one Sunday morning, I woke Laura up and said, hey, I know it's 5 o'clock, but let's go to Belgium. So we just like drove onto the Eurotunnel, got a ticket for 40 quid, drove over to Ghent. The petrol was about, filled it up. For about £35 for my car, kind of thing. Drove to Ghent, and then just had a really wicked day out. I mean, we did loads of free stuff. We don't even have to spend loads of money on anything. Had a nice meal in a restaurant, and basically the whole day come to under £100. It was early on in our relationship when we didn't have any money, or less money, I should say. And it was just such an amazing thing. It just kind of proves how much you kind of can do, just by making it happen. That's the thing. It's, for me and Andrew, that's always been our thing, with music and all that kind of stuff. Trying to make it in music is like the hardest thing ever, and just trying to get your first gig and all that kind of stuff. So it was like, hey man, I can't get any gigs anywhere, being 16 or 17 or younger kind of thing. And it'd be like, well, why not just make it happen? Okay, cool. I've now rung up 25 venues saying, please, can I support anyone? And then we just make it happen. We're like, hey man, got a gig in London, do you want to come along? And that's basically our lives. Okay, we get older and things change, more success happens, but it's only through the same concepts of just working really hard, and just not allowing defeat, really, I guess is the whole thing. But yeah, hopefully you're gonna enjoy our journey to different places, and the idea as well with this podcast is I love so many podcasts like Serial, Radio Lab, This American Life, they're all great. Is I want to actually take you with me to different places that me and Laura go to, I don't know, wherever we end up, we figure it out. But I'm gonna always kind of have recording equipment to kind of tell you, seeing different stuff and describing it to you and stuff. It's going to be an awesome journey, man. You're gonna enjoy it. It's going to be fun. Hope you get some good little bit of inspiration going on. And yeah, the main aim of this, like I say, is not to be boastful or to have an ego boost. I mean, I get enough of that, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm joking. But yeah, the whole kind of thing is just like, I want to inspire this whole crazy revolution of, be nice to people and they'll be nice to you. Do positive stuff. Positive stuff is definitely going to happen to you, because that's how it works, even if you don't think it, let me tell you, that's exactly how it works, and if you work hard, you can honestly do anything. If you want the Lamborghini, just work hard and get it. I guarantee you're probably not going to be that happy by the amount of time you had to work to get that Lamborghini, but I don't know, maybe that will really make you happy. But it's just that thing of if it's not happening, why isn't it happening? Just make it happen, So anyway, thank you very much for listening. And in the next episode, we're going to look at all the different plans of how you can actually make it happen. How you can work from anywhere, and how you can actually, little tips on how to book places and things like that. Anyway, thank you very much. Cheers.
You have been listening to the Rebel Podcast. For more information, please click on rebelnomad.co.uk. You can also subscribe to this podcast by clicking subscribe or going to rebelpodcast.co.uk.